Hello, I'm Jenkins, the family law vlogger, and today on the vlog we're joined again by my colleague Nigel Shepherd to talk about no-fault divorce because there's been some more developments. Nigel, welcome to the vlog. We've done several vlogs over the last couple of years about no-fault divorce, so we were hoping that this legislation would come into force in October this year, but there's been a recent government announcement about it, and we're recording this in June, I should say, June 2021. There's been a recent government announcement about it. So what's the latest? What's the update?
Oh, nice to be back talking about no-fault divorce with you, Caitlin, as always. Yeah, the government recently announced that the hoped-for implementation date for this no-fault divorce legislation, which was going to be October, has been put back until the 6th of April 2022. The reason for that is nothing to do with the principle itself. It's to do with the underlying architecture and the IT, the need to get all the online forms and processes sorted out, make sure that the rules are in place. So it's technical issues rather than ones of principle. And it's important, I think we'd all agree, that when this fundamental change in the law, the most fundamental change in divorce law for 50 years, is actually implemented, that it's against a robust system that works, because as practitioners, the current online system hasn't met with universal acclaim at all times. So better to delay and get it right than to try and do something ambitiously and it not to be right, I think.
So this is about practicalities rather than a change of heart about the law. The legislation and the change to the legislation and the divorce law is going to stay the same. It's just moving it back practically from being implemented in October this year to the next slot, which is April. Is that right?
That's absolutely right, yes. I mean, some people are thinking we've been there before because in 1996 we had a no-fault divorce act and it never got implemented, but we're in a completely different position here. And we've been reassured by the ministers who made the announcement to a parliamentary question in the House that this is a delay to make sure that the infrastructure is right. It's nothing to do with the principle. The government is absolutely committed to this change. It's going to happen. It's just going to happen 6 months later than we might have hoped, which is disappointing, but not catastrophic in any way.
Absolutely, and as you say, if the mechanics behind it and the tech behind it for all the different forms, whether that's online or on paper, to actually enable the divorce process, the new divorce process to take place smoothly, if there's time for that to be put in place, then it's better to get that right at the outset. Otherwise, it's going to cause chaos in the already stretched family court system. So for those who are either separated at the moment or contemplating divorce, separation and divorce, and with having an eye to the fact the law is going to change in October, what do they need to think about now, given that it's not going to change until April next year?
No, well, the original date of October was always what they call an indicative date. So there was always a risk that it would be pushed back. So in terms of advising clients about what they might do, we couldn't guarantee that the law was going to change. Some people would obviously want to take advantage of the new no-fault divorce system rather than being pushed down the blame game of adultery or behaviour allegations. The reality now is that the wait would have to be a bit longer for those people. But at least as we approach the 6th of April 2022, we can now advise with absolute confidence that the law will change then. So as we get closer to it, it'll be easier for couples to say we'd rather wait, particularly, for example, if they're wanting to do a joint application for divorce, which this new legislation will allow people to do for the very first time. So those who are separating now, they may feel that that year might be a little bit too long to wait. There may be practical financial considerations where they need to move on and they have to play the current blame game, which is obviously unfortunate. But as I say, as we get closer, the certainty will be really helpful for us as advisors and of course the clients that we're advising.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Nigel. So there we have it from Mr. No-Fault Divorce himself. We can be reassured that the change in the law is coming. Hopefully the practicalities, this delay will mean that the practicalities are sorted, and certainly by April 2022 we can, and our clients can be using this legislation without having to rely on a fault-based fact to get their divorce to go through. Thank you very much, Nigel. We'll keep in touch, no doubt, about any other developments. And as always with the Family Law blog, if you have any queries about your own circumstances, you should take specialist advice from a family lawyer who specialises in this field. And my details, Nigel's details, and those of the rest of the Mills Reeve Family and Children team will be at the end of this blog. Thanks, Nigel.
Thanks, Caitlin.